Hi, it's Meagan. I'm going to try this again because my naughty dog is locked up and calm has been restored. And I am on my way doing my continuous line warm-up. I understand the Wi-Fi might come and go a little bit, but I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to roll with it, right? Because that's what you got to do in this day and age. You got to roll with it because there's going to be a lot of surprises, right? So anyways, as I was saying before my dog so rudely interrupted the world, is that I have been spending my off time preparing for the new technology that is here and is only going to be getting more expansive. And so, as an artist and speaking with other artists about it, oftentimes the first reaction an artist has is, oh my God, AI. Oh my God, there's anger and fear and resistance. Those are usually the first reactions to the conversation of AI. And I get it. I'm right there too. I think there's a lot of, just like everything else, there's a lot of misinformation about AI. And it's such a big and complex subject, it's hard to have a real handle on it. And I'm not saying it like I do have a handle on it, but I am spending a good deal of time trying to understand how little Miss Meagan, in her little world of San Miguel and drawing classes and art workshops, well, how can I use it, right? Or what's it going to do to me in my industry? Or what's it going to do to my job? Is it how will it replace me? And I have since learned how it could replace me. Even though I am a freehand artist and I draw with my hand and I draw continuous line and it's very unique and it's very, no one else draws like me, just like no one draws like you. But there are robots out there who can mimic everything about me and everything about you, right? And as an instructor, there are robots out there that can mimic me as an instructor and be even better and mimic you only better in whatever it is you do, right? So while I think the first thing we have to get past is that AI isn't just about making pictures, right? Like it's not just going to, we've all seen the digital photos, they're showing up everywhere, right? The AI photos and the videos, and they're getting more complex, and they're many of them are honestly quite beautiful, right? And that's only going to get more expansive and more detailed and more hard to tell the difference, right? If there's a robot who can draw exactly like me, even with my weaknesses, right? I don't draw perfectly and I don't want to, but there's a computer, because you can always tell these digital drawings, like on Procreate and stuff, they're very smooth lines and everything is nice and clean and intersects as it should. But with continuous line, it can be a little bit more woohoo. And these robots who want to mimic me could mimic me, and they can mimic you, right? So it's not just about replacing us as artists, but it's automating everything on the business side, right? And it's also about ideas, right? So whereas oftentimes the AI is thought of as scary, it's just going to crush artists and steal artists and all that. There's a very huge side of AA that is quite beneficial to creatives, to artists, because it's a place where you can, discreetly is probably a relative world. What is discreet in this day and age? What is the word private in this day and age? Okay, maybe no one can hear me talking right now, but someone could be recording me and I wouldn't even know it, and so how private is that, right? So anyways, the words discreet and private are very relative, but in the world of AI, as someone who is an artist and a business owner, and I'm an American living in Mexico. These are weird times with that idiot president, what he thinks, the American president, what he thinks he's going to do when he gets in next month, all his plans for being a bully, a global bully. what will actually happen with that? I don't know. No one knows, right? He's setting the stage for being a world-class bully and a world-class racist, right? I mean, he's always been those things. But now he's got a whole team assembled around him that are going to help him make all his dreams come true, right? Now, will it happen? We'll find that out. But anyways, so all this stuff, this talk of mass deportation is just one of the segments, right? So that has people nervous, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm going to have workshops in Mexico anymore. So what am I going to do? So I talk to my ChatGPT and I flesh out ideas, and I flesh out ideas and projects and visions and things I want to be doing, and the AI can help all of us make a plan for our goals, right? So it's very interesting because while I understand the knee-jerk reaction to be nervous about it and to not like it and just think, oh, robots, right? I can't do that right now, Dave. Instead of being fearful of it and instead of being angry at it, what I am suggesting and what I am doing is learning about it, right? And others too. I'm certainly not the only one. I mean, there's a whole world of people that are playing with this and using it. I mean, I think we can all tell when someone has used it just to copy and paste, right? Because you can punch in there and say, tell me the history of the San Francisco Ferry Building, and boom, it'll give you the history of the San Francisco Ferry Building. But it reads like an Encyclopedia Britannica. Do they even still have those anymore? It sounds like Wikipedia. How about that, right? Get myself out of the dark ages. It's a very generalized, safe, non-specific, non-opinionated history of the San Francisco Ferry Bridge, right? But now if I were to write about it, I would probably infuse some of my personality, some of my opinion, not and factually as facts, but just I would tell my story based on my opinion, right? And so here's what I'm trying to say. If the whole issue of AI makes your eyes glaze over and makes you scared and nervous, and honestly, how can the news of what's happening, how can it not make you a little nervous, even no matter what your beliefs are? There's just sounds like, they're going to take away the Department of Education, destroy the Social Security, Medicare, all these things, whether or not they're really happening. That can make all of us very nervous, right? Because all the systems that are in place and have been in place, and I'm sure wrought with corruption and whatnot, but the idea of them all being torn down just because Donald Trump doesn't like it, or Barack Obama built it and he doesn't like black people. We're literally in a dictatorship when it's the whims of one person who's deciding how things can be changed, right? Based on his whims and his likes as a white supremacist, right? So anyways, there's a lot of things that can make us, all of us, quite nervous about the future ahead. And so my thing is, I'm just going to lean into being a human and learn how to use the tools that are available and becoming available, so that I can continue to do the things that I love to do, but in new ways and with new tools, right? Easier said than done. It's one thing to have this vision. It's another to really get to that, right? And the only way I can do that is if I stay calm, centered, focused, and in breathing. Oh, even in my Substack I had it. It was the 4 acronym. The first thing was ADAPT. ADAPT. I live in, the San Miguel is basically a retirement village, and there's a lot of people who are like, I don't really care. And I get it. I mean, at a certain age, you're like, I don't really want to learn a whole new way of living, right? And maybe you're not working, and so you don't care. There's a whole variety of reasons to want to do it or not, right? So there's a lot of people here in San Miguel who are just like, they're in their bubble and they're going to just stay in their bubble, right? And that's just the way it is. But then there's people who are like, they have to still navigate and adapt to the world that's coming, the world ahead, right? And that's where I'm at. And I was more afraid of it a few months ago, and I think around the election, because, I mean, the way he stole that election again, I mean, it's really, I mean, I think, as Gavin Newsom said, it's one of these things that will eventually come to light, right, the what happened here, because there's no way all these people won, right? And so it'll eventually, there will eventually be some light shed on what has happened here. But in the meantime, we have to all do what we can to navigate and get through, right? I don't want to get sick. I don't want to be so stressed out that I get an ulcer or I got to have a heart attack or whatever. My heart's a little injured from my COVID days, right? So I have to be mindful of these things, right? I have to be mindful of my health. I have to be mindful of my energy. I have to be mindful of my focus. And I have to be mindful of breathing. And I have to focus on adapting, right? Adapt, breathe, center, focus. Adapt, breathe, center, focus, right? So I have to realize that I have to adapt to some new ways, right? And then adapt, breathe. I have to keep breathing, right? Because sometimes I can find myself where I stop breathing, right? And then I have to center myself, which is what I do with my continuous line drawing. I have a dog now. We do lots of walking. That's another way where I center myself. I calm myself just walking with the dog. It's been one of the greatest things. And my continuous line drawing practice right now. It's another way that I calm and center myself, right? And then the last thing is focus. Look at my pretty blue nails. Focus. Yeah, see, I just lost my focus there. You see what happened there? I focused that. The sparkly thing caught my attention. Shiny things. Oh, look at the brilliance in that, right? Blue. Yeah. So then I have to focus on new things. So like a new way of doing business, which means embracing new technologies. I'm creating online classes for the next year. I've had a number of people say to me, I love that continuous line drawing class, but it is way too advanced. Got the hiccups now. It's too advanced, right? For if someone is just starting, to jump into that class will blow you out of the water, because, the artists in that class are of a very top-notch caliber. And the art that everyone, myself included, is creating in 15 minutes is mind-boggling. 15 minutes, we're like not only doing continuous line, but we're painting and we're salting and we're scraping and we're masking, and it's the fastest 15 minutes of our lives, because we're just creating these masterpieces in 15 minutes, and then we move on to the next one. And so this builds resilience, it builds confidence, and it builds skill. All these things which are really good for the era of Mad Max, which is what we're literally going into. We are in the Mad Max era, right? So one of the things I'm creating is a beginner's continuous line class, and I'm doing it with an online platform. But it's not just a recorded thing. It is live Zoom classes and like lessons that are recorded. And it's a mix, because I think it's super importante to keep the live videos. It is super importante to keep live videos, because we are inundated with recorded videos. Nobody needs another recorded video. Nobody needs another recorded video, right? So here we go. I am going to finish big with a heart, because, that's another thing that I really want to focus on, is having grace for others, having, go easy on myself and go easy on others. There's been lots of fireworks today. It's easy to have misunderstandings. It's easy for people to misunderstand your intentions, and best laid intentions, as they say. No good deed goes unpunished. And so it's easy for things to quickly get out of hand, because of there's a lot of people are very emotionally charged right now. I do my best to stay mindful about my energy and my communications with people, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be well received, right? And so I have to always bring it back to just go easy on myself, go easy on others, right? Because even while I may be struggling with the news of the day and what's coming down the pike, and is my workshop business blown up, but then I have to look at somebody who like goes off on me and gets mad at me because of a misunderstanding. I could just be equally as mad at them, or just be like, just let it be. Let there be some space and some time, because the situation was not malintentioned, but somehow it became malicious. So anyways, what am I talking about? I'm just talking about personal relationships, right? And so go easy on myself and go easy on others, and finish big with a heart, right? So all that stuff about the AI, I am creating a beginner's class for creatives to get a handle on how all of you can use AI, all of you, whether you're retired, whether you're working, whether you don't care, whether you care, whether you're an artist, a writer, a bowler, a gardener. You can use this to help you with your ideas. And I just want to share the basics and some strategic routes you can take to use AI for not only your benefit, but also to help you kind of understand why it's being used everywhere, and the difference between some of the applications, because it's going to probably get a whole lot weirder next year. So anyways, remember, just calm yourself with lines, or whatever your meditative practice is, because we have to adapt, center, breathe, focus. Well, I think breathe should be first, so it should be adapt, breathe, center, focus. And that's when you get into action, when you're focused. So anyways, all right, everyone, have a great Sunday. My dog is napping in the grass. That's been one of the greatest gifts of coming to this place, because she not only got to run around in the grass, but now she's napping in the grass. And she's having a great time, even though there's fireworks all over the place. Okay, until next time, everyone, have a great day. Mwah, mwah, mwah.